Welcome to the Natural Way of Being video blog. This video is titled, Stop Compressing Yourself. So lately when I've been talking about inviting people to kind of open their hearts, I've been using this kind of demonstration, I guess you'd call it, where it's like I take my hands and it's like compressing. And you could do this now if you want, like just compress your hands together, like really, really, really tight. And so that's kind of how we are when we're not open. And then when we allow ourselves to open our heart, we kind of just let go and we relax and we allow our energy, or ourselves, if you will, to naturally expand. And this is a different sensation. We're used to being like this, now we're like this. And so it feels different. Okay, and to me, it kind of feels more expansive. I feel more expansive. I feel larger. And what's another word? I feel more spacious. There's like more space. It's not as dense. It's more spacious, or it might feel more open. And at first, when we first experience it, it's kind of a little bit of a mix. But part of it, I think we feel a little relieved because we're not all jammed up. But also, it might feel a little uncomfortable, you know, because we're not used to it. At first, sometimes I even feel like almost a little lightheaded. You know, because it's like, where am I? And we're disoriented. I'm used to being like this. Now I'm like this. And like, whoa, what's it? Life is different experiencing it like this. And then it's what I invite people to do. What I invite you to do is to try it and just kind of get used to a little bit. And what does it feel like? And allow yourself to kind of become accustomed to it, to kind of adjust to it. It's like going from inside to outside is what my friend calls it. So my truth and kind of my spiritual premise for this talk is that maybe we're a lot larger than we think we are. And maybe we're connected to a lot more than we realize we are. So what we're doing is we're taking that, like this kind of this vastness of our being, and we're stuffing it into this little space. We're compressing it into this little space, which is not a natural thing to do. So our energy becomes really dense and kind of compact. It's like taking one of those big poofy down sleeping bags, one with like, it goes to like whatever, minus 30 degrees below, minus 30 below or something. It has like lots of loft, which is they call lots of poofiness. And then when we're done with it, we cram this thing into a little stuff sack. And that's really cool because we can put it in the car, or we can put it in our backpack, and it's very functional. But it's like, but also the sleeping bag does not function very well. It can't keep us warm when it's compressed. It keeps us warm when it's expanded. And that's kind of how we are. My theory is anyway, is that we don't really function well when we're compressed. It's more natural that our energy is out, like it's out flowing and interacting with other people and other things, and energy's coming in and energy's going out, and we're this and it's like, but if we see ourselves and we're used to experiencing ourselves like this, that can be pretty frightening. It's just like, oh my God, I'm gonna get some on me, or that person, or they, you know, it's like, it feels like it's like I'm out of control. There's energy flowing all over the place. And it takes a little while, little bits at a time, to just kind of maybe loosen that up a little bit and see what it's like, is my invitation. But generally speaking, I think once we get beyond just not being used to it, it kind of feels good and it kind of feels free to allow our energy to naturally expand. You know, and I think that's a lot why we are drawn to being out in nature, or kayaking, or skiing, or we get outside, or why we like being by the ocean. Because I think what we do, and I think we do this maybe without even realizing it, it's like we get out in the forest, and we just kind of, we forget to contain ourselves. We're like looking around, it's like, wow, it's so beautiful. And then we forget ourselves, and we allow our energy to kind of expand into the forest. Pretty soon, we feel like we're kind of one with the forest. We're kind of part of the forest. And the reason is like, I mean, because we really are allowing ourselves to be part of the forest. Our energy is expanding into the forest, And it's now becoming kind of one with the forest. Our energy is blending in with the energy of the forest. It's like we feel connected. And if we think about this, it may sound weird or scary, but it's actually the most natural thing in the world. And you've felt this. I know you've been to the Grand Canyon, or you've looked out over the ocean or whatever else, and you just allow yourself for a minute to just forget yourself and just allow it to expand. And then you feel good. You say, wow, I feel free. I feel like in awe. I feel like, wow, it is so beautiful. It's so expansive. Well, that's us. My theory is that's us experiencing our expanded state. It's us experiencing ourself in its natural state, where it's like expanded and it's connected and blending into the environment that we're in. And I would posit perhaps that may be a way we might want to consider living. So why do we compress ourselves or kind of constrict ourselves? And there's probably a lot of reasons for that, but I think generally speaking, I think it's largely because we're just used to it. It's kind of like how it's the sensation of ourselves that we're used to. It's kind of like how we sense ourselves and how we like feel like when we're compressed, if we're used to it, it's kind of like we kind of feel like ourselves in a way. It kind of feels familiar. It becomes a comfort zone, if you will. It's like, oh, I feel like my compressed self. All's well in the world. Everything's under control, and I'm contained, and nothing, and I'm in control of what's going on here. And don't mean to like make fun of us, but it's like this is, I think unconsciously, this is how we do it, and we're used to it. And I think that's one of the main reasons that we do this. The other thing it does is compressing ourselves. It gives us a sense of being separate. So like I am contained. I kind of define myself by my body. So my energy, it would be really easy and convenient if my body, if the edge of my body was the edge of me. So now I can control myself, right? I can keep my hands to myself. You know, I'm under control. But if I allow myself to expand, you know, it's a different thing. It's like it starts. I'm not as separate because my energy is interacting with things and it's flowing with things and it's blending. Like I said before, there's my energy is going out and other people's energy is coming in, and they're getting all kind of mixed together, and I'm no longer separate, which spiritually, that's really kind of enlightening. You know, it's like to realize that we're not separate. We're like, and that's, but emotionally, what we're used to, it can feel a little uncomfortable at first to just like, oh my gosh, where do I end and you begin? You know, it's really convenient to say, I'm in my body, you're in yours, and so now we can, now we know what's going on. I feel like I'm in control again, you know. So in conclusion, remember that all we need to do is to stop compressing ourselves. You know, because it's natural. It will naturally expand if we just stop compressing just a little bit and allow it to expand just a little bit. And it doesn't have to be all at once, just allow it. And it's like, okay, this is as far as I want to go. Okay, that's okay. And just allow yourself to be there for a while. And then when you're ready, you could allow it to expand a little wider, perhaps. And maybe allow the membrane, your skin, or your membrane, or the edges of your container, maybe allow it to be like a little more porous. You know, so it's not like this wall. It's just like things can come in and out a little bit, and get used to that. At first might feel like, oh my gosh, I'm being violated, but like it just energetically, just play with it a little bit if you'd like. It's an invitation, and see if like what life feels like to be a little more expansive, less compressed, more expansive, more spacious, more open, and just I'd invite you to just like, what does life feel like? You know, experience, what does life feel like this? And it takes a while to get used to, but it feels very free. I think it's great, but I'm biased. So that's my video blog for this week. I invite you to have a really spacious week. I don't know, that sounds a little weird. Maybe expansive week. Enjoy your week and allow yourself to maybe be a little more open, a little less compressed, and I will see you in a week.